Hello, everyone. We're back for session two or session zero, part two of our run of Two Summers uh, by Côme Martin. We are playing it in our Silent Falls continuity. My name is Dana, my pronouns are he, him. Let's get quick intros from the rest of our players and their characters, and we'll jump into the rest of our character generation. So yeah, left to right in the character keeper. So Kay, you're first.
Hi, my name is Kay. I use the she and they pronouns, and I will be playing Jeremiah Briarwood Barnes, he, him pronouns, the community's athlete.
Hi, I'm Mendel. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Remy, who also uses he, him pronouns, who's earnest, helpful, and is presumably headed towards debate finals in law school, but many things will happen along the way, I'm sure.
And I'm Mads, she, they pronouns. I'll be playing Terry Delling, he, him pronouns. He's the responsible older brother type, um, strong, into music, good listener right now, and has a bit of wanderlust in his teen years. So we'll see what this will entail. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Mark. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Kira Holwell, she, her pronouns. And Kira is the bad seed here in Silent Falls and is trying to get all these good boys into a little bit of fun trouble.
You say that bad seed, like there's only one, but you're doing your best. Okay, so Mendel, do you want to tell us the extra connection you made and the concerns you picked for teenage Remy?
Okay. Yeah. So uh, the extra connection I made was between the club opening and the mayoral contest. And I was suggesting that maybe someone involved in the club was, or the dance club, is the opponent to Mayor Montero. Um, but we can switch that around if that doesn't make sense. But yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I like the idea that, maybe a business manager or business partner in the resort has struck out on their own. I'm
mhm.
sure the Monteros will see that as stabbing them in the back or something like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, I think that works. That's
I
kind
mean,
of
if it's a
complicated.
credible election, then there's got to be somebody who surprised them, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So. Mhm.
Okay.
And so my concerns are the club's grand opening, which is getting everything ready for that. That's my family concern because my father's here working on that as well. Um, so the NPC concern is that I think that I hid something I was supposed to hold on to for a little while from one of the rich girl cartel folks. um, I stuck it in a room that hadn't been unlocked in the library, but people just never went into. But then when I came back like the next day, it was locked, and I don't know who locked it. So, um, and so I'm nervous about that because I'm probably due to get that where it's supposed to go, and I feel really bad about this. Um, and then of other things I feel really bad about this, it's trying to fix the situation that's going to happen to Jeremy any day now, um, that I helped to cause. Um, so I again left that a bit vague, but I am guilty and worried about that. So
Hey. That all sounds like uh, um, yeah, an uncertain situation that we'll get some fun out of. In terms of this situation with Jeremiah, Kay, do you have any thoughts on that, or do you just want to see is that the relationship, or is that something different?
it.
That's the relationship that Mendel established.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Shrugs. We'll see what happens. Play, find out.
Great stuff. Okay, so now let's go on to the adults. Um, they should have four traits. These aren't like tied to anything we've done like we did for the teens, but I guess you got a better idea of who these people are now. Although when you create those traits, there's room for movement or room for like, hey, I don't care about that stuff anymore because I'm not a teenager, right? So um, the suggestions are the thing that basically describes them right now, their occupation in life, a thing they kept from their youth or about which they're in full-blown nostalgia mode, or and what matters to them most today. So I don't know. Do people want to have a think about that? There may be some really obvious ones. Um, Madge, you did your homework or something. I see. I see three traits. You're not sure? Um, well, do people want to? Do we want to go around the table and like spitball, or should I give you some like a quiet 5 minutes and let you uh, think to yourself?
I was spitballing, and it's like, I wouldn't mind workshopping, like, one or two
Yeah.
of them.
So we start with Terry then.
We totally can.
Yeah. So what are you thinking for traits? What basically describes him right now?
Right now, because there is a difference between alone and lonely. So, I mean, like, I think it stems from what he's doing right now, which is he's an event promoter, but being an event promoter doesn't have anything to do with music like he was doing before. Like, he was thinking as a teen he was going to be a roadie. He was going to be, he was going to be like hauling all of the equipment. He was going to be, touring with bands and stuff like that, but it didn't end up being like that as an adult. I think he's more into the behind the scenes and like, scheduling things, like, setting up gigs for tours with all sorts of different groups and everything. So I mean, like, he's part of the managing kind of scene right now. Um, but I mean, like, it keeps him busy. And again, I mean, like, I'm not sure whether he's more alone, and that's fine, or if he's more lonely, and that's okay too. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So for event promoter, that means like he's on the road a lot.
Yeah.
If he does still technically live in Silent Falls, it's pretty much for his vacation only.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty much like, to just kind of drop by and then, like, I guess, like, have a place for his stuff,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. You know.
And in terms of the alone versus lonely, are you wanting help as a player to decide, or is the
Yes.
question still kind of open? Like Terry doesn't know what he is, and he is kind of struggling with that. Is that
No, I mean, like, I need, like, I mean, well, I mean, like, he's had relationships. I mean, it's fine, but I mean, like, like, I don't know whether he's okay with his current situation. I mean, like, I think he could be alone or he could be lonely. I don't know.
um? I guess for me, and I want to open it up to the rest of the table. For me, the question is like, what happens when these people from your past like come back into your life? Is it
That's a good
like
question. That's a very
are you
good question.
yearning to meet them again? Like because
Oh, I
this
don't know about
feels like
yearning. Wow.
normality to Terry?
Ooh, oh man, I don't know. That's a very good question.
Okay, I haven't helped at
He
all.
hasn't seen them for a while. You come on, help me out here, people. uh,
Well, so with the promoting, you can do that if there's like a local venue. You could be like a promoter for the venue.
yeah,
So that's not always like, so if you're on the road a lot, that's kind of a choice, right?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
feel like it maybe you're so that's the
He's
question. Are
running.
you
He's running from something too. I think.
right? And
Yeah.
right. And then it's like that question. I mean, this sort of brings that same question. Are you on the road a lot and that is why you're alone? or are you choosing to not tie yourself down
Mm.
because maybe, I mean, maybe you are running from something and maybe you don't know that you're ready to bring like a partner or a close friend into that. Like,
Ooh, what if it's
is
yeah.
that what's stopping you? It's not a lack of opportunity. It's a that you have an obstacle, like you have an
Yeah, I
emotional
think
obstacle.
maybe I'm like I know it's not supposed to necessarily tie into the teen thing, but maybe there was something that ended up happening in the teen year, like the teen years that like is putting a block on him like, settling down or to be able to form a tie. And maybe he is coming back to Silent Falls because of this. It's something that happened in Silent Falls. How about that? How about that, Donna?
Sounds like you're requesting that we traumatize Terry in the teen years, right?
Well, you
I
can,
mean, what is it
I
for
don't, I
than
don't,
to do
yes.
than to do?
as Mark will attest, I don't think I can do that, you know.
Members, like at least for me, it's like so long as they're like they're not younger than 10. I mean, I'm okay.
Okay. Um, Mark, do you have any ideas bubbling apart from your cat
Sure.
lying on his back?
So we're talking about Kira now, right? You're moving on from okay. So yeah, I think that she has taken over the newspaper, and I can't remember what the Silent Falls newspaper is called, so I've called it the Examiner. It's out there somewhere, I know.
It
Yeah.
is. I think we might have to look at the recording of the where you talk to the crazy lighthouse keeper to find out the name of the
Mm.
newspaper.
Yeah, you're right. I'll call it the Examiner for now.
Yeah.
What did I do? Okay, sorry. Oh, I see what happened. That is she's running basically the entire thing by herself. Maybe she's got a reporter or two. Um, but she's essentially the editor and journalist, and she does everything. It's a small town. And so she finds that her occupation is um journalist slash mom. And I was going to have for this thing from their youth, I think that I'm changing it up. And it's going to be so a thing that they kept from their youth is going to be a camera. And it is it's a Polaroid camera. They keep coming up. It's the last legs of Polaroid cameras before the advent of digital.
Mm. Is there like a collection of photos that goes with that?
Yes. Um, and maybe we don't see them yet. She's got them in a manila envelope that she keeps them in. And she has marked it with she's written on the outside private, I guess, to keep her husband and kids from digging around through that. I'm sure that'll work.
That always works, right? Keep out. Do not open.
um, so that's going to be Polaroid and Polaroids. And what matters most to them today?
I mean, you can
Um,
mull that over if you want to,
I
or
will.
yeah,
I shall.
good. Uh, hey, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, they're not necessarily in order, but
Okay.
for I was thinking baseball star because theoretically he does it, or that's the end of it is he leaves town and he goes and does it. So He's feeling adrift. He's still charming, but now he's enticing, and I don't know if that's better. I think there's a question of that. Like that was something he was when he was young and that he was attached to, but now it's like it's less like a question like of is it like back then he knew it was him. Now is it him or is it money or status? And so like that's like a weird tenuous connection there. And then was it all worth it? I think
So
he's very kind of adrift and unsure as he's getting, older and probably somewhat towards the end of the baseball career. And he's like, did I make the right choice?
yeah, I was about to ask, I don't know how late baseball careers last, um, but is this enticing thing more about the celebrity of that stardom, which is starting to fade, or is it about like him being a local kind of hero done good kind of thing?
I think it's honestly both. I think it cuts both ways. I think in life it's the celebrity thing, but now that he's in town, it's the level of celebrity difference and things like that. He's also I'm going to say an eligible bachelor because he's single, so that's a thing. Uh, but yeah, but yeah, because I'm trying to let me Google that actually. How long do baseball careers
I mean,
last?
you're going to find outliers
And
in
is this
anything
Oh
like
yeah,
before?
this, right?
Is this with or without the enhancement?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So I'm gonna say he's been at it for like, yeah. They're saying it's a lot less than I thought, but uh, they're saying it's like 5 years and that's it. But we're gonna pretend that he's been doing it since like I don't know, like 15 or 20 years. Like he's gearing up for his last season.
Okay.
Is where he is,
Mhm.
or
There
he's
are
yeah,
definitely athletes who manage to push past the usual
yeah,
sell by date.
the sell by date, yeah, especially with medical technology and other things, and and maybe he took some time, first to do college ball before he did pro ball and things like that. So that could be a factor. Might not have gone straight pro, might have gone college and then gone pro. Yeah, and then for his concern, or something PC family, I was thinking, let me know if this is okay. Lorraine's health. The woman's 100 now.
Yeah. Um, or do you want to? So, I guess because we last week, right, we were leaving it to be kind of a black box as to which of the Briarwoods
Yeah,
was the mother, right?
it's
But I think it'll have to be like a generation below Lorraine. So if
yeah.
but it still could be like you're concerned for her health, if she
Well,
was,
Lorraine, and we know Lorraine isn't his biological mother. She definitely seems to be the head of the clan, and therefore
yeah,
probably
yeah,
did a lot of the shenanigan or arrangements for him. Probably.
yeah. I
I
mean,
think
that's
as
totally valid, right?
yeah, and then I think as Lorraine is possibly, you know, about to croak, the ownership of the bar is a bit of a thing with local NPCs because you have the family and it's the family's bar, but you also have, Shasta's been looking out for it and managing it for a long time, and that's something I think that could be an interesting play about there. It's like what does happen to the bar because it's Lorraine's bar, but and the Briarwood family's bar, but she's gonna pass. None of the Briarwoods have they've been helping, but it's really been Shasta who's been running it. Uh, so that kind of a thing for like local NPC stuff, and then for something that eats away at their free time. Again, now that the career's kind of ending, and he's trying to figure out either what's his next step and where he it's sort of like the adult version of who do I actually belong with. It's like, am I happy? Like, did I make the right choice? Kind of.
So, um, I guess the question here is like, if we're going to be spending time him. and this totally works. Like a concern is something we want to be spending scenes addressing, right? So him figuring out, was it all worth it? All that kind of stuff you said already. So I think that
Runs in and
works for
sees
sure.
Barry. Was it, being on the down low and going into baseball worth it? He could have, maybe he could have had a family or something. Who knows?
I mean, I also like, if you don't mind, Kay, I also like put in like under my concern. It's like, why
Hmm.
is Jeremiah in town now?
Yeah, that's
Like at the
good.
same time that we're in, like, that he's in town. It's like,
Hmm.
what the hell?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. We have unfinished business. I don't think it was not a clean break.
Yeah.
That all sounds pretty good. Um, Mads, I think we talked about two traits, but not the others.
Hmm. Like, for nostalgia, it's like, he kind of plays guitar for himself. Like, it's one throwback. Like, he hasn't let go of that thing that kind of just kind of kept him interested. And like, he knows he's not good at it. He just does it because it feels nice. It's like something that he can do for himself, and he doesn't have to impress anybody. He knows he doesn't have to impress anybody, and he just like kind of like makes up songs, or he sings for himself. And I don't even think he realizes it's like, he sounds okay when he does it. And again, it's just for him. What matters most to him today? I don't know. um Workshop. Yeah, not sure. I mean, he's in town because of this thing that prevents him from figuring out like what he really wants. I mean, like, is he like, was he running this whole time? Like, he doesn't want to let anybody in his life because of what's left undone, or what's scaring the bejesus out of him. I don't know. Like, whatever. We play to find out. I'm actually interested to find out what the hell that is. I don't know. So, is there a mystery at Silent Falls that Terry can get embroiled in, that's going to matter at this point? I don't know. So,
Um,
because that could also help with be eating away at his free time.
yeah, yeah. Uh, okay. We'll circle back.
Yeah.
Mendel, let's hear about grown-up Remy's traits.
Yeah, and I'm still a little stymied by that third one. So, see, trying to remember the order in terms of this. What is my state right now is caretaker. Um, so I mean, I guess I'm gonna throw out the idea. So I know that we already established that I would be staying with Anne Huang when in the adult side, and I'm thinking that's there's some of that job is taking care of her because of her health or some other situation, I don't know what the established continuity about her is, right? But if it doesn't make sense for there to be a longer term illness, it could be like recovering from a surgery for a few months, kind of thing, where I'm just
Yeah,
staying
yeah.
with her to help her out,
I
that
mean,
kind of thing.
there's no real
Mhm.
continuity set up, so those will fit for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, it's one of those things where it's someone's private health situation. I don't need to necessarily get into a lot of details with people about it, if that makes sense. So, just I can leave it vague until it comes up, if that makes sense. So, but that's caretaker, and then uh, occupationally, probably substitute teacher. Um, because the nostalgia slash thing from my youth is the paleography degree, which is more a history degree with a paleography specialty, shall we say, um, which I'm referring to as useless question mark, um, because who knows? It's the the apparently the one part about law school I liked was the Latin. Um, mhm, which I'm sure is a very common problem. So,
Uh,
and that sort of leads me to the I'm trying to figure out what the thing I care about most is, um, or just sort of how to kind of turn that into a trait, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, it's part of it is I feel like there's probably something more motivating than just the day to day, and that's what I'm trying to land on. And it's probably going to be not just coming from, I mean, it could be something like saving the library, in which case that would sort of intertwine with my relationship with Anne.
yeah.
Or it could be a mystery around town or something. But like, I feel like, I mean, if saving the library sounds like a thing the library sounds like something we want to put into peril, then saving it would definitely be something I can be preoccupied with, if that makes sense.
I mean, I have no problem endangering the library in
All
a
right.
game. Mark shakes his
Um,
fist at me.
I was actually I actually came up with something for the fourth trait actually. Like, and it might tie in very vaguely until we actually flesh it out more. But I was wondering, like, what matters to you to Terry right now is like getting over his fear. Fear of what? We find out. I don't know. Yeah. Does
Sure.
that sound
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Intriguing but generic enough for now,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yes. I gotta find out.
Pay to find out. Yeah. I will second. I think the library is a good idea because each of us have a connection to the like library or a like that goes to the library from when we were kids,
Sure.
and so that would be very drawing together for us as adults.
That sounds good to me.
um. So, who is next on this? Mark. What are adult Kira's concerns?
So I have gone against type, and she is married. Kira is married as an adult, and she is interested in maintaining her marriage, um, but it is difficult. Um, so that's the number one concern. The second concern is regarding one of the rich girls cadre from high school, Jenny Montero, who is grown up now and is part of the Montero criminal family. No, part of the Montero organization, which does include criminal activity, and there's some kind of hints throughout the years of some kind of weird occult connections that they seem to have. Um, there are rumors about her grandfather, maybe great grandfather, getting up to some weird stuff in the 70s. Um, and the thing that eats away at her free time is, did I mention that she's a mom? So she's a mom and she's a journalist. So that eats up all of her free time.
Um. So you got two. So are you like putting the kids and the job together, like in balance with maintaining this marriage? Is that like the two forces at play here, or is it more like family and work? How are you viewing those concerns?
So job and kids, I was thinking that's what eats away at her free time. They suck up all her free time. And yeah, I mean, obviously they both um are things that she has to deal with in balancing her work life and maintaining that marriage and connecting with her kids, those kinds of things. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I was like really wondering how you're framing that. And the kids are teenagers, obviously. Is that what you're thinking? Or
Yeah, they should probably be, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
uh, just in case we need to
Yeah.
stoke the fires of hatred, right?
Yep, yep.
So that means you have
Uh,
kids pretty young then. If they're like 15 now and it's been 20 years, so you would have had them in your early 20s.
Yeah, things didn't kind of go exactly as Kira had planned.
Okay, cool.
She didn't get out.
She
did
didn't.
not get out of Dodge.
Nope.
Okay. I mean, if you want them younger, obviously we just want to make sure nothing crazy goes on with them, right?
No, no.
Uh,
Let's offer them up there. So to the gods of drama.
Hmm.
They're in their teens.
okay. They are future Monster Hearts characters, right? Um, wait a minute. Is one of them your Monster Hearts character? Is
Oh
that
my
what it
God.
is?
I guess one of them could be Evan.
Yeah, wow.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Evan, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're like a year or two before the Monster Hearts campaign.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you could definitely do that.
Oh my God, that makes perfect sense.
We've come full circle, Mark.
Yeah. Oh my God, you just blew my
Stop lining shit up. Stop lining shit up. That just
mind.
gross.
All I'm saying is like, here is the only person with red hair in the Hollowell dynasty. So something weird is going on. Okay, sorry to everyone for that little tangent. That's what you call those things. Okay, so concerns. Mads, are we filling in some details?
I mean, unless we can make one of my, well, the only Silent Falls NPC that I had was like the one who came into town. Yeah, I mean, unless we can tie her in somehow. I mean, like, as the local NPC now, I mean, like, I can't think of anybody that Terry would be, um, I don't know, hanging with. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where to go.
Are you still friendly with Shasta? Weren't you working with her at the Dagger? Do you still have like a slight connection with her, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Because maybe you came through a couple times when you were doing event planning. Oh,
Oh, yeah,
I
maybe.
should get an event here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of difficult to talk about another PC 20 years on from a different campaign, although
Yeah.
that's what we're doing here. So I'm sure Shauna will stick around, right? Maybe that makes that question about the ownership of the Dripping Dagger kind of very interesting if someone is still friends with uh, Shauna, who's, I don't know, I guess still managing the bar, right?
Still managing. I just don't know like how to run that connection.
Well, I guess I mean, the Dripping Dagger is not a big venue, right? It's not
Yeah.
like they need an event promoter, but are you maybe doing some kind of reunion tour of the band that you used
Ooh, yes.
to homecoming tour or whatever?
Yeah, I like that. Homecoming tour of the band that
Do we have a
started.
name for this band? I don't think we did.
Dripping Dagger. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Let's see. What kind of band are they? Did we ever did we ever say did we ever say?
Well, I don't think we decided.
All right, so something like, kind of you know, just singular. So like their band name is Single Side. So it could be any kind of music. So Single Side's homecoming tour.
Okay.
Techno sea shanties.
Working with Shauna. Okay. Something that eats away at free time. Oh. A Silent Falls mystery. Packed stuff.
Uh, uh, so I see that, Mark, that Kira has Jenny Montero as a rich girl cadre, but like in adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that Jenny is up to no good, which I'm thinking that one of the members of that cadre is also behind the redevelopment plans for the library site. Um, I don't know if we want to make it Jenny or if we want to make it somebody else. I was going to kind of throw that out there with what you were thinking. I don't know enough about, is Jenny uh, someone who supplements her income by doing the criminal stuff, or is full on like mob boss?
Yeah, that's I imagine it as the Monteros are the organization is a legit um well they have their hands in a lot of different pies, I suppose, but um they also have these criminal connections which they use, and I think it makes sense and it's concise, I think, to have it be Jenny who is heading up
Mhm.
this plan. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. I think
Maybe she wasn't in charge back in the day, but she is now,
yeah.
as it were. Um, that sounds good. I imagine then that, like, that maybe she's uh you know a realtor who deals drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not
So
both?
so not content to take the moral tact of being a drug dealer, but doing dark, much more horrifying things by going to
Real estate. I
like
mean, yeah.
real estate.
I
Yes.
mean,
So,
yeah, really, that's where it's at.
So I guess we
yeah.
need to play surreal estate now in Silent Falls. And so when we talk about redevelopment, so the Save the Library campaign that you're involved in is directly opposed to this. I don't know, make them into apartments for rich people redevelopment, right? Or whatever it is.
Oh, it probably is just raise the entire building and put in like a luxury high rise or something. You know, um, how that usually works. I suspect that I'm not super great at like getting a bunch of people to go out protesting, but I'm very good at filing uh freedom of information reports with the town hall and doing things that just slow the process down. So I'm probably, again, that suits my methodical uh approach. But
Yeah.
I certainly would be talking it up and hoping that somebody more charismatic might help.
Yeah, you might maybe, people in town that you know that were good at those
Mhm.
things, maybe you're there in town and you're going to try to reconnect with them and be like, hey, you used to go to the library quite a bit. You know how important this is. Put your, I can file motions, but you got to put your weight behind it or something like that.
Right. So, and I probably am sort of picking that up from Anne, because at least at the moment she's not able to do it as much. So good to be as involved.
Okay, awesome. So how are we doing? Do we think we have everyone's traits and concerns locked away almost?
I didn't have anything for Eats Away at free time, so I wasn't sure whether we were going to delve into anything
Hmm.
strange or if we were definitely going to just
Hmm.
champion the library or keep the paper alive and then, do
Yeah,
something
I
weird
mean,
and strange with those.
you want to see like what we come up with for our, you know, double-barreled adventure, and then if something sparks something uh, during that discussion, you can always just jump on that bandwagon.
Okay, that
Yep.
sounds good. Yep.
Okay. So I think we're all done with character generation. Let's take a break. Okay. So we are back. Um, and now we have the difficult part, which is deciding what adventure you all went on. Uh, there are three big options. These are very loose, but I guess we can always warp these out of all recognition if we want. The first option is they found a treasure in the middle of nowhere. Second is they solved a mystery after a big investigation. And the third is they protected a secret from dirty muckrakers. So, how are people feeling about those options? Mark, you're unmuted, so
I wanted
I guess
others to. I should have muted myself because I didn't
you
want to
should have.
dominate this. I like solved a mystery after a big investigation, personally.
What do people feel about that?
I mean, definitely okay with that idea. I mean, could be something that sprung out of that, though, that could be maybe creepy enough to affect Terry, maybe? I don't know. Just bring it back to the
It-
present.
it-
Something.
Yeah, and the idea about it's a mystery, but how it gets resolved could be potentially protecting the secret versus exposing the secret, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 100%.
mhm.
I mean, so there's like some other examples for each of these, which might get, if nothing else, something to rebel against. Um, so like for solving a mystery, it's like unmasking the members of a secret society, revealing the culprit of a robbery, or unmasking the true identity of an inhabitant of the town. And I guess those could all be very, very dark, or could be more lighthearted. Who knows? What do people think?
Well, it's got to be
Any?
something that scarred Harry enough to give them like a permanent life fear. So that's my opinion. So I'm all for drama.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's fine. So,
So are we gravitating towards one of those, or thinking something else entirely? I mean, obviously we know it's got to be kind of scary or whatever, but
So how much, I mean, how much detail in the planning of the adventure do we sort of piece out in terms of if it's going to be unmasking conspiracy? or secret society? I mean, the distinction gets kind of loose at some point. Is it,
Yeah.
do we want to figure out are we in this stage figuring out what that conspiracy is, or are we going, we just know we're going to be unmasking conspiracy?
Yeah,
Um,
so if you like look at the kind of template email that we had, it's very light and detailed, right? So it says, we uncovered a conspiracy or whatever it is. So like you just specify the nature of your adventure, and then you can fill in a couple of big details like, we crept into the library basement, or, went to the Montiero house, or we went to the beach, stuff like this. And then it says, I won't tell you about the rest because obviously we have to play to find out exactly what happened. Um, and then we kind of fill in some details about for the adults, right? So we talk about, we wonder if NPCs are still around, and especially after what we did to them or whatever it is, right? So it's very, very light. Obviously, we don't want to decide exactly what happened, but we want to give some pointers. I guess the opening credits can't give away exactly what went on, but they give us a little bit of a hint, right?
I'm gonna spitball some stuff just to think about. So I think that there is a secret coven in town. There certainly is a secret coven, I think, in the nearby woods around Silent Falls, and maybe they were involved in maybe they were involved in manipulating things in the town. We thought that we uncovered them, um, and found out who they were, but then realized that what they were doing was for the greater good. And so we kept their secrets and everything, and their names and so forth to ourselves. Another thing is there's this pact that we mentioned, which is the weirdo monster hunter guys, people, and maybe um, we found out that they were their actions were not helping people in the town in the end. That they had somehow lost their way. We uncovered that, and they were ported off to jail or hell, or just had to go underground, or um those are just a couple of things that jumped out, so I thought I'd just say some things to get the ball rolling for people. And neither of those are like I'm free, I'm happy, super happy to move on to something totally different than those.
Hey, do you have any thoughts or preferences?
do we want to embrace the weirdness slash occult here, or do we want to skew away from that? Because I think we're at the point where we kind of like it's like there's a plenty of real life thing of like not spooky magical stuff that can be spooky for Terry. Um, arguably magic might be less spooky. In some depending on the magic, but like do we I guess I mean I feel like we're at that decision point, right, where we've got to decide whether we're going to push one way or the other,
Yeah.
like from
I
a
think
tonal and palette perspective.
yeah, it's like in every public access mystery, you have to be like, okay, well, was this supernatural or is this mundane? I think yeah, we've hit that point. I'm happy with either, honestly. Um, I think either could be good.
Okay, either way. I mean, it just would affect like um, how intense the last parts of Terry's concern slash trait would be. So I mean, just whatever what it is, and then he'll react accordingly. So
that something if we do go that route, or is that something where we need to engage some of the stuff in other summers? Or
Yeah, but I mean, deciding that things are going to be darker is something we've already decided, right?
okay.
Than the normal two summers
Oh, I see.
experience.
That's
Yeah,
I,
yeah, um,
mhm.
yeah. So I guess that doesn't mean it goes. That doesn't mean that the mystery doesn't have to be like occult or spooky, but like certainly there's like darker elements at play than we would normally have. Um, Almost by dint of the fact that we're in Silent Falls and it's uh, iffy place at best.
I mean, I am 100% good with a coven and leaving this, making it a suggestion that the supernatural is there instead of a full on, this is a supernatural event we're investigating, if that makes sense. Um, but like, I do like this. I do like the idea that it's not something on the relationship map. So the identity of the people involved could come from anywhere on the map, as it were.
I mean, they could
It,
have had like some scary shit, like, there,
mhm.
that we discovered, and it could be, haunting
Right.
Terry, because I mean, it's just god awful. So I mean, that's fine.
Mhm.
That's perfectly okay.
So,
Yeah.
um,
So so are you thinking like unmask the members of a secret society is kind of digging into the coven because it's kind of maybe a mystery of the town that goes back a while, and I know people are digging around in libraries and all that kind of stuff.
mhm.
It's like, why are you back now? Why are you digging into this now? It's like, it was left, like, left to, left, like, lie fallow for all these years, da 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 da.
Um, yeah. So in terms of those two events, like I've mentioned research in the library, but like, do people go into the woods, um, or into the mines or someplace they shouldn't be going? Certainly not as teenagers. Like, do you think you want to get
Oh,
into
like
some
baseball
adventures
team
there?
definitely parties in the woods. Like that's like traditional high school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like, where else are you going to have, like, like secret trysts and, like, like whispered conversations and shit, Like, you got
yeah.
Wait,
And the
abandoned
note,
houses.
the the note that has been in the Callisto Rivers State Park since Monster Hearts was this wild park has long been seen as a place to fruitlessly warn teenagers about. So yeah, um, okay, that sounds good to me. Um, so I guess the flip side is like exactly like I said, why return to this um mystery? Is there some kind of long-term unforeseen kickback or reveal going on? Um, there are there are some suggestions again, um, uh, some of which obviously don't make a huge amount of sense, but I'll just read them out just to give you an idea of what they have in mind. Like the culprit escaped from prison. The same circumstances are happening again. An NPC related to the investigation found clues potentially leading to a treasure. A book retracing the steps of the investigation implies the existence of a secret loot. An NPC related to the investigation needs help. An element of the investigation kept hidden so far is threatened to be publicly revealed. Or one of the places related to the mystery that everyone has forgotten today risks being reopened. Um, so, yeah. Again, that's just to get
e- e-
the
either
juices
that
running.
one, like the last one, or the one about like circumstances matching what happened before are happening again. Yeah.
I'll second Mads, and if we do the former, I think we could tie it into the library, uh,
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
latter. Both are good though.
So are you more interested in the places or like the people who are involved? Even if they weren't like, we're not saying they're part of the coven, maybe they're involved in the um and obviously we can find out
What if the
what their
places were
involvement
like?
is.
What if the places are just like, and again, because Silent Falls is such a place, like what if like the places are harkening back to people? Like it doesn't even have to necessarily be the same people. It could just be drawing in people, and we find out whether it is actually the same people or new people that
People of a
these.
similar archetype.
Yeah, yeah.
Go,
Or
okay.
if you wanted to lean into the whole family lineage thing, you could say, uh, bringing in the Briarwoods or whatever, just as an example. You can be, uh, you can live the details of who that is right
Yeah.
into play.
I mean, again, it's like because it just seems like it's like an importance of place because it's Silent Falls. It's like, there's just these places that just seem to draw people in. So,
So we just like, um,
yeah, way to create a place that has such rich lore, Donna.
so we can leave that kind of wide open, saying like some room in the library is going to be reopened, right?
Hmm.
Uh,
I
or
was thinking
maybe,
like something underground, like destroyed, because if they're looking to tear it down, maybe something was buried there or put there, or like that's where like
Yeah,
the coven had their thing was in the basement of the library.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
fixing it up. They're renovating it, and
Yeah, they were
Or
on the
or
idea of renovating it to keep the library, or if they destroy the library, then they're gonna, you know,
they're
empty out
gonna.
that space or dig up something or
Yeah,
yeah, if it's a collapsed room in the foundation, well, when they dig the foundation of whatever they're putting in its place, it's
exactly.
it's easy for them to get a hold of it. Um, Although there's probably going to have to be some way to generate urgency. Either the campaign to save the library will fail, or there's going to have to be some other way to generate urgency.
Oh
But
boy.
I'm okay with that situation. It's just yes. But if the idea that maybe there's that supposes that there's something critical that got buried in a collapsed room in the basement of the library.
Oh, so basically now Donna knows exactly how the teen part's gonna end. There's gonna be a collapse that we're gonna get out of. It's coming
Well, we don't
down.
know. We don't know that we were in that
I'm
room before
I'm
that
just
happened.
saying. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
yes.
Yeah.
But like
We know
somehow,
something's gonna happen.
right? Or
or it can be
concreted up in
something,
a random wall or something. Yes.
yeah.
Hmm.
Or it may be that it's not in the library, it's in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Something in
Right.
the
Right.
Something.
park
Something.
Yeah.
that
And
is going to be unearthed due to some other
Yeah.
developments.
Sure.
mhm.
Sure. We
Um,
don't have to be involved, but
I mean, you're
yeah.
going to be involved, yeah. But I mean, I mean, my only regret is I know none of the PCs will be buried in there, right?
Oh, thanks.
jeez.
Done you the
You're safe,
happenstance of making us fall in love with an NPC and then
Yeah,
burying them there.
yeah.
I
I
mean, we
mean,
haven't established that Terry wasn't buried in there and got out.
That is true. That could
That would
be
be traumatizing. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
that could be the trauma.
So there is in the lore as it exists, there is like a restricted section of the library
Ooh.
that Dot will let special people access, and it would make sense that then there's a double restricted section of the library, which is below the restricted section, and who knows what happens there.
Right. I mean, something hidden and inaccessible in the library is not too hard to arrange anyway. You could
Yeah,
Cask of Amontillado it,
absolutely. Yes.
and as long as nobody knows which wall, they'd have to tear the whole thing down to find it anyway.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, amazing. Okay.
I want
And
maybe
maybe
the
that's what the Mantieros are planning all along, right?
Oh my
Maybe they
gosh.
need the thing.
oh,
Oh Jesus. Oh
maybe
God.
maybe they've sent in a architectural engineer to see if they want to actually raise the library or convert it. And if they start digging around and notice that the proportions don't quite match, et cetera, et cetera, that could be a pressure point,
Yeah,
maybe.
who knows?
Who knows?
It's,
Okay.
it's all getting very interesting.
Yep. Yipper.
Any NPCs that, I mean, obviously there are people involved in the library, and we can probably take those as read. Any NPCs that we want to be kind of caught up in this? Um, like the line in the kind of form letter is, I wonder if NPC is still there and what they're up to. I hope they, I don't know, survive the collapse or whatever it is. Right.
Wait, this is
Um,
for like the return.
yeah, exactly. So is there any NPCs you want to see back um, at that later date? Who will be in the thick of it?
Right. This is
Uh,
the email or letter you send to your friend who's watering your plants while you return to Silent
yeah,
Falls.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like, cause basically Terry's like, the kind of like
Hmm.
I'm dropping off my shit kind of person. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. What if this is? Oh God. This is terrible. What if this is somebody that he's been friends with for a while, but he didn't notice? Like that this person's been interested in him for a while.
So who's on our um,
Pardon.
who's on our map? Who could be that connection? We have Jeremiah's older half sister, right? We have. I mean, it could
This
be
is
a
for
piece of.
Terry specifically,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
thinking? Yeah.
Yeah. Because she would be watching, like, watching over his place, or like, like letting him know, you know, whatever, kind of like news in town kind of thing. Um, yeah, just kind of like a connection to be like, hey, and she's friendly enough, but I mean, like, he just hasn't noticed. He's been a complete butt. Because that's how my guys roll. Yeah.
Uh,
So anyway.
a member of the band, maybe?
Oh God, member of Single Side, really?
I'm looking at the relationship map.
Okay.
The-
I mean, that would be interesting if it was.
or maybe like the roadie, kind of like or the sound guy for the band.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, that's
I mean,
fine.
it's
I mean, either
also a
way.
member of the band. I mean, just like, yeah.
um.
I mean, what else? We have like the baseball team. Someone who wasn't as successful as Jeremiah. I don't know.
So I think Anne, right, is important.
Mhm.
Uh, that she be there. Is this the kind of question that we're talking about in this letter?
I, I mean, definitely take. I mean, we can put her in, as it were. Um, I've kind of worked out some of what's going on with her, and that's fine. Like if I'm just wondering if we want to add an say focus attention on an NPC. Um, I'm already right. She's already kind of involved. If especially this is focusing on the library, it's
Mm-hmm,
just is there
mm-hmm.
any other NPC we want to bring in? And especially as they say, nascent love interest for Terry,
Okay.
right? That's so, and just the relationship map is, uh, yeah, it actually has, I mean, relatively few male characters.
I think we have to produce some more teen NPCs here in order
Oh
to
yeah, a lot of
fill
them are
this thing.
older
Right.
Okay.
too.
Teen timeline NPCs that we
Right.
haven't created yet. So good luck fitting those on the R map, Dunna. Uh,
Oh God.
We should just have a list of everyone in our graduate in our like are we all in the
graduating
same
class.
class? Yeah,
For Christmas sake.
I mean we should just have like we just have the roll call list for the class. Like,
100. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and then pull people from that.
No, okay, so no, seriously, like so do we want to make this person like one of the band, or do we want to make this person like what Terry was going to be, like a roadie?
Or do you want
So
to make it a friend of Terry's who was on the debate team?
Or maybe it is a Terry's crush at Betty's Diner that he wrote 10 songs about when he worked there part-time.
no, because I mean he was going out with Jeremiah. Why would he do that?
Well, I mean, because he's a teenager. I mean,
He's
not to
a
put too
loyal
fine a
teen,
point
dude.
on it.
Because otherwise, why would? Well, never mind. Uh,
Gasp. But yeah, any drama or anything you want, I'm happy to partake in, Mads.
I
Do not.
don't. I mean, again, this is why I'm thinking this is somebody that had a crush on Terry rather than like him crushing on somebody else. Um, because he didn't know.
We could
Like
make it
what?
someone in the rich girl's criminal cadre then.
Even better.
I mean, would it be interesting if it was how
Jenny?
complicated you want to make Jenny's situation?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, could it be Jenny?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be fucking
Because
hilarious.
then you've come back to town.
He's
She's
relatively,
been
yeah, he's relatively, prosperous. I mean, he's making his way, he's doing his thing. He's like, oh, okay, whatever.
we can make the subtitle for this Two Summers series, Jenny Montero Must Die. And everybody wants to kill Jenny Montero.
Oh my
I
God.
I haven't run it yet, but I have a novelist series which is Death is Too Good for Such and Such Person.
Oh my God, what?
That is
Uh,
too good for Jane Montero? Okay, well,
Yeah, well, I
okay.
mean, but it was novelist, so it was about making death break up with
yeah, yeah.
Ah.
right. hmm Romantic comedy. I
Uh,
digress.
okay.
But yeah,
I,
no, I could see. But yeah, Death is Too Good for Jenny Montero. It's also a perfectly reasonable thing, especially depending on what this coven is doing or what the weird occult reoccurrence is. So,
yeah, okay. That sounds fun. Let's the final thing we're going to do today is key moments. So this is kind of like the wishes from Stars and Wishes, except you say two things you'd really like to happen next session, and we'll try to make sure at least one of those happens for everyone. There's a space in the character keeper below notes for key moments. You don't have to split them like teen and adult. Um, uh, so Mark is already typing.
I'm not. No. I just selected a box.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
So how does the structure work? Do we bounce back between the two summers, or do we go do one first and then the other? How does this work?
We bounce back and forth.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Cool.
and that is kind of at the discretion of the group. So if more people think, "Hey, we should switch now," let's go to the adult timeline. That's what we do. Um, so I guess we can check in at the end of scenes. Like when you play physically, it suggests like having a sheet of paper with a dividing line, and people like move tokens from one side to the other depending on what they want to do next.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay. Cool. All right.
so we'll just check in at the end of a scene. Um, or maybe if there's a cliffhanger or a da 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 moment, we will just switch over just to prolong the agony.
How many sessions of this do we have?
We have 7 more, which is what the game suggests. We have so it's like 6 to 8 sessions. So um, yeah. So I'm not sure. Does anyone want to start with a key moment that they really want to see next week?
Basically, it's like I just wanted to know how many sessions we had, so this way we could start with the tender moments first and get into the drama. So this way, it's like I can get into the serious shit later on. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, you can, and you can, obviously, you can regulate that by having nice key moments in mind at the start, and then, uh, you know, we slowly destroy your ability to hope.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, well, I'm because I was thinking it's like K, if it's all right with you. It's like either the very beginning of Jeremiah and Terry's relationship, or like where they're flirting with each other or whatever, or like the first kiss or whatever, whatever the hell it is. And then like on the other side of it, like the whole discovery of like, wait, you're in town? Why? Like that whole confrontation thing.
I like that idea. I like the flip of you're in town versus like what I don't know if it's like the first kiss or the first date, but it's like but like something of their relationship, like and what it was like the nice part of it
Yeah.
before things fell to
Shit.
what
Yeah,
they've already
exactly.
they've
Nice
been
part of yeah.
like this was like the romantic core, the heart of the relationship they had at this time,
Yeah.
versus like holy shit, you're here. Ooh, you're here.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I want a scene, I think maybe where that kind of starts some like the sort of mystery that Jeremiah's following, which is the who do I actually belong with sort of a thing, kind of with Lorraine, where he's kind of talking. She's the matriarch. She's got to know. And if not, why didn't they give him to the Barnes? Maybe you should just go with Montero, and maybe like an argument with her or a discussion with her, and then like a scene on the adult side of like her in a hospital bed, and like, it's like you ready to finally give me something because you didn't give me it then, like, or her, I don't know Lorraine fully, but I don't know, I just feel like she's a badass. So something with her in like a in a more vulnerable position, but still being a badass, and Jeremiah like
That sounds great. Okay, yeah. And I think, Mark, what do you think? Lorraine Bryward is a badass. I think that is true facts.
Yeah, definitely.
canon. This is canon, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She's mean. She's a mean old lady.
Jeremiah's mean.
People usually deserve it, right? That's
Just
How many
laughing at Mark's
scenes?
key moment.
Sorry, how many scenes did you want like, or vignettes did you want, like,
yeah.
well,
So
I guess moments.
yeah, we're just looking for 2 ideas
Okay.
each. Um,
Oh, each. Okay, got it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and obviously that would mean a lot of scenes, but I think, the Terry and Jeremiah ones will have both of you in it. But yeah, they don't have to be like whole scenes or like whole storylines. They can just be, hey, I want to see this, or be as vague or as momentary as you want.
I'll throw out a scene, uh, which is all of us running through the woods, with uh, the distant view, or within the distance there is like police cars flashing lights, and leave it ambiguous whether we're running towards or away from the police car.
Mark, why don't you tell us what else you have in mind for the woods?
I'd like a scene where the friends go on a picnic together in the woods, and Kira produces a bag of magic mushrooms and tries to convince everyone to take the mushrooms in the woods and um and have fun. It went great for everybody in Midsummer.
Yeah, I bet.
Um, Tell us, Mark, is Yana Hallwell your like older cousin, who went on that terrible trip to the woods in the 80s? Do you remember
Oh
Yana?
my God. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Makes sense.
Okay. I see the other one you've written, Mark. Is that teen or adult
I was
or
thinking
both?
what teen? Yeah. I mean,
They,
I was
they
thinking,
they don't have to be balanced or anything. They just,
okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Right. So, in that scene, Mendel, Remy, and Kira are researching at the main public library when Jenny Montero and her rich kid friends show up and are a pain in the ass for some reason.
Connection check in. Is Jenny the direct child of the mayor, Montero?
um, we
I
don't
think so.
know, but I think it would make some kind of sense, right? In the
Yeah, do we
teen
want to do?
that yeah, that
Um,
that the teen mayor is her father or her mother.
yeah, is her father or mother? Yes, one of her parents.
Yeah.
And that'll create some interesting juxtaposition for like younger them and older them and things like that.
Right. Any other moment in mind, Kay? Um, or do you want to see the do you want to see
Oh,
both of
them
those?
I didn't type
Um,
them out because I'm terrible. I should write them down. I said them a minute ago. Uh,
well, you were talking about the Jeremiah Lorraine discussion, right?
yeah, so
Both
like
in the teen and the adult. But was there another moment that you
not.
wanted?
I figured I would see how these moments that we've put in go because I
Okay,
feel like
yeah,
this is good.
that's fair. Yeah,
Play from there.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So it sounds like we have a whatever passes for a plan. Um, we've got a lot of homework to do. for next week. But yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, unless anyone has anything to add before we stop, I will cut the
Oh,
recording.
I did put
Oh,
in Mayor Montero's election night party.
okay.
So,
Who knows who's going to win that, obviously.
well, right, it's the party,
Yeah,
it's not the
yeah,
outcome.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, but something. Yes, and some of us are there. Mhm.
Okay, awesome.
I have a quick question. So the NPCs tab, should we be helping you populate that, or is that something you're going to handle now between now and next session? And
I was gonna take a run at it, but
oh,
if you have, very strong
no,
ideas for face claims
I have none.
for, okay.
I
But
wasn't sure what you wanted us to like assist you with that, or if that's something you want to take, you're going to take a run at, and then be like, so that way we have people to play with things like that, or who's going to be there, who you're pulling, I guess, from the other previous keepers, and like,
yeah, I'll take a run at it, and obviously we can fill in more
yeah, as we
NPCs.
play,
Yeah.
and we randomly name someone Kyle, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let me stop the recording.